Hello guys, welcome to the video. This is the first in a series of videos that's going to basically just document my development process of my very first full video game. I say first full game because I've made tons and tons of little games that are just more like prototypes or things like that over the years. I always start projects but never finish them. If you're in the same boat as me with that, please let me know in the comments so we can feel bad together. Okay, so the reason that I know that I'm gonna make a full game this time is because I have a method now of actually doing things that I want to do. And it started with this little project that you're watching on the screen right now. This is called Jetpack Kev. Now, Kev is one of my best friends in the world. He was my next door neighbor a couple of years ago, and I'd read this book called The War on Art, which is all about like breaking through resistance to actually grind out and do the things that you want to do. By the way, that's a great book. If you haven't read it, The War on Art, for any creative person who struggles with getting things done, I would really recommend it. It's by what's the guy's name? I don't know, it doesn't matter, you can just Google it, right? But anyway, so I sort of using some stuff from that book, which is basically just I think part of what it says is giving yourself like some time every day that you just sit down and do what you need to do. So if you're gonna, I don't know, if your car breaks or if your, I don't know, dog dies, it doesn't matter. It does matter. It's really sad if your doggy dies. But anyway, you, no matter what, you're going to sit down for 3 hours a day and you're going to work, you know? You're going to do your work because that's your purpose. That's the thing behind it. That's the thought behind it. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try this. But to give myself a bit more room for success, what I did was I told my friend Kev, I promised him that in 1 month's time, I'm gonna have this game made. Oh look, here's the wizard. I made a wizard that just randomly appears in every level. I said, I'm gonna deliver you this game in 1 month's time. If it's unfinished, if it's shit, it doesn't matter because I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna work on it every day. I promise you that, and I'm gonna give it to you. And I did that. And as you can see, there's not really much to do in this game, but this is like the furthest I've ever got into a game project. Like, so I was honestly, I was so happy when I made this, as far as I got with this, even though it's like, to you guys watching, it might seem like, you know, nothing much, like just flying around and there's a wizard, there's some spikes, there's tiles, there's randomly generated levels, which is kind of cool. That took a lot of the time, but still, the point is, because I gave myself a limitation, because I told myself I'm gonna get it done by the end of this month and I'm gonna give it to him, I did it, you know? And that satisfaction from actually going through with it and seeing the small fruits of your labor, maybe, I don't know, like blueberries, they're small fruit, right? Like small fruits of your labor, and that's what this is. But I was so happy I did it, and now I'm moving on to a bigger project. I know that I'm ready. I know that I can do it. If I can do something more than I've ever done in a month, imagine what I could do in a year or 2 years. And that's my thought behind this video. So, about the game that I'm going to be making, I'm really into horror stuff, and you might tell by all this sort of gory looking stuff in this level. I'm really into the horror genre, especially old PlayStation horrors like Resident Evil 2 was my favorite, and Silent Hill, especially. Like, as far as horror games go, I think Silent Hill nailed it, especially Silent Hill 2. I know everyone says it's like such a great game and it's over talked about like that, but I mean it. I've always loved Silent Hill 2. It's one of the best horror games I've ever played. the atmosphere and everything is just so amazing. But this game that I want to make, I really want to model after old PlayStation 1 games, because I just love that sort of spookiness you get from the really low resolution and also the really pixelated big textures on things, so you can't really see the fine detail in things, but your mind fills in the blanks. And again, that's another thing people have already talked about over and over, so I'm not gonna waste your time on it. But yeah, that's the idea. An old retro looking game, PlayStation 1 era. It's gonna be sort of third person when you're exploring, but then first person when you're examining items close up. Like, so instead of looking at items in your inventory, it will do maybe like a Grim Fandango thing where you'll go first person and look at the item in your hand, and maybe you'll be able to turn it around like LA Noire style, but I don't know, maybe just floating there, I don't know. So one of the important elements in this game is going to be like a hub area, which is going to be the main character's apartment, similar to Silent Hill 4. I didn't actually like Silent Hill 4 that much, but I really liked the idea of you being in the apartment and things sort of subtly changing over time. So I'll probably do something a bit different with it. I don't want to be like straight up copying, but I like the idea of there being one area where you keep coming back to and you can feel a bit of safety in. That's one thing in Silent Hill 4 is that room started changing and like bad shit started going down there, so you never felt really safe anywhere. But I like that little breathing space you get from, you know, like in Resident Evil with the save rooms, and you know, just a little bit of peace before the storm, the calm before the storm, they say, you know. And so yeah, that's it for this video, I guess. If you're interested in following me on my development journey, please let me know. This is the first YouTube video I've made, so I'm sorry if the quality is not great, but I'm aiming on improving it as I go along with the game. Maybe later in time I'll think about adding a bit more content rather than once a week, but for now I'm just going to see how it goes like this and focus on making that game. So guys, if you're making a game too, I hope you all the best with it, and I hope to see you again on the channel. Subscribe if you want, like if you want, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.